Kicking off this review in cringe fashion, I must declare that peak is absolutely peak co-op gameplay. It is superb. I spent 4 hours with my mates doing this last night. We didn't want to go to bed. We were absolutely knackered, but we were wetting ourselves laughing and wanting to go again and again and again, and just couldn't help ourselves. And that, I think, is sign of an absolutely fantastic gameplay loop that just has you hooked in. And let me explain why. In Peak, you crash land at the bottom of a mountain that has 4 different biomes that are procedurally generated every 24 hours. So no mountain will be inferior the same. The mountain's different biomes each have their own mechanic to them. So one is just trying to learn about how to climb around everything. The second one is around trying to make sure that if you're climbing around vines, you can swing across them, but also not getting caught in the rain, because rain will sap your stamina. I'll get onto stamina in a minute. The third one is around being not caught out in blizzards that will then give you frostbite and ruin your health. And the fourth one seems to be all about lava, but I've not personally seen it because we've never got there. And that probably says more about our terribleness than the game itself. But it is a challenge to get through. Once you've customised your character through a few different things and some optional unlockable hats when you get there, you'll then set off with your friends. And you'll notice one of the best things about the game is that your voice chat travels through into the game, but it's totally surround sound and situational. And one of the best things I can say about this game is the way how not only do your lips move in the character as you're kind of moving around, but if you go into a cave, your voice starts to echo. As one of your mates is like busy climbing up and makes a wrong move and starts to slide down the mountain, and you can hear like from the corner of the screen like a as they come down. And it's just hilarious and wetting myself. As time after time you hear someone go, and then like in the distance you'll hear like a little cry in the background of like, help. And then you're like, what do I do? And that's where your inventory starts to come in. You'll be able to see various different bits of luggage that were splattered around from the plane from when it crashed. And inside luggage will be things like bandages to recover health, food to recover hunger, which also saps down your health. And the crucial thing here is that your health is also your stamina. And so if you've been poisoned by stepping on the wrong plants or eating the wrong fruit, which seems to be a total lottery, if you've got frostbite, if you've caught fire, because you can run through campfires and get caught on that, your health bar becomes smaller and smaller and smaller over time, which then means that you've got less leeway in being able to move around things. Now you can store stuff in backpacks, but weight also then impacts your health bar and takes up some of the stamina that you've got. And so you need to decide what to take with you, but then try and spread the load out across your friends. And because you can go in a pack of 4, you're trying to think, right, well, if you've got some food, I'll take the bandages. Someone else takes like the rope and pinions, and maybe also like the chain gun to try and get up like a overhang cliff or something like that. But if the wrong person slips and falls and dies, A, you've lost all of their stuff unless you can get round to help them and steal it all. But also you'll need to work out how to politely chuck things at each other and hope to catch it, but not then overextend yourself and do what we do and do like a lunge jump and then realise you're jumping off the cliff to certain death below. Cue another. Oh! It is just gloriously stupid. But whilst all of this chaos is taking place, the control scheme is consistent. And whilst everything around you is acting ridiculous and stupid and you're thinking, how on earth do I climb up there? The controls, whilst there are definitely glitches, and in particular when you're trying to get off of a vine onto like a treetop or a wall face, we found quite often that it would glitch and it wouldn't let you let go of one thing and hit onto another, and then you'd watch your stamina sap and then you'll start to then fall away, and then you're thinking, no. Apart from those kind of bugs, the actual like climbing movement and the physics of how far you can jump, and a run and jump will get you further and all of that kind of stuff, it makes sense and it's consistent. And that's key for this to be funny in a ha-ha way, rather than, and it's the obvious one to bring up, things like gang beasts, where everything is so ropey that the jank is part of the game. There is jank here, but it feels like they're bugs to be fixed rather than jank being inherently part of the gaming experience. And I think that this makes for a much more hilarious and funny and like genuinely captivating game. Because if one of us was slightly hurt or very hungry and we'd not stored enough food, or we're struggling, you can kind of hold hands to each other and then try and like shorten the gap. And when you're getting to the end of your stamina, you've got like a last attack lunge to try and get forward and scramble up the hill or the cliff edge or the rock or whatever it is. And like those moments are quite tense because you're thinking, come on, just a little bit. And sometimes it will work and you'll be like, yes, got it. And then you can haul up your chum and then off and away you go, trying to like recover your stamina and off to the next bit. Sometimes it might be you've got someone down below that just needs some fruit. So then someone will go ahead, try and scavenge like a tree or a fruit and then chuck it down, replenish, and then you can go for it. Like there's an awful lot of strategy, really well thought out and great gameplay mechanics in this game that I think will probably get overlooked because of the comedy value. But there is a really decent game here, thought out and well balanced and designed, even though it is exceptionally hard, particularly as you start to lose people as you go. This then brings me to the hilarious ghost mechanic. And so when you die, you can choose to give up, or if you've got an idol, you can be revived, for example. And as a ghost, you can then attach yourself to viewing one of the remaining members of the team, and you can circle around them. It took me a very long time to realise you can zoom out. Apologies to my mates who just had my face in front of theirs all the time. And I'm going, look, over there, it's a thing. But you can use them as scouts to try and like see round the corner or look slightly higher above to get different vantage points, and kind of almost like driving instructors help as a climbing instructor work out different routes of where to go and what to get, and there might be a pickup over there or some health or a bandage or some fruit that can help you out. It all still means that you feel absolutely included and vital in the game, even though you've died. And then once you reach a campfire at the end of each biome, you can all be revived, brought back to life, roast some marshmallows, num 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 num. That gives you a morale boost. It also increases your stamina bar beyond your traditional stamina health bar, and you can do that by collecting food and cooking it so that you can kind of beef up your stamina, which is incredibly helpful for biomes 3 and 4 and 2 to be honest for us. But it just it is the chef's kiss. And whilst these games are just as much about the people that you take along the journey with you, this is by far one of the most fun and engaging co-op multiplayer experiences that I've had in the last few years, because there is always something new to explore. It refreshes and regenerates every 24 hours, so the climb is different. And some of my mates that had played it a couple of times before I'd been able to get onto it were just remarking on how different, not just in terms of the layout, but then in terms of the difficulty each day seems to be that they tackle, and it felt different every time so far. So yeah, super looking forward to seeing how Peak develops. Hope it can iron out some of those tiny little bugs in the background that prevented us from being able to stay alive a bit longer. But overall, this is a Peak online friends only experience. Bring them along. It's better with friends.